Welcome back to Sportsbook Review Videos. The NBA free agency period has died down, and some of the NBA future odds are out and moving quickly. And right now, based on their records from last season, some of their big name acquisitions, as well as some of their future odds this offseason, I have chosen my three most overvalued teams heading into the 2016-2017 season. And I think the first one you could probably guess is going to be the Golden State Warriors. This is a team that led all teams last year in the playoffs and the regular season in ATS value at 59, 45, and 2 against the spread. But of course, the acquisition of Kevin Durant, you've probably heard by now that it's going to be pretty good. And of course, it's the biggest free agency splash since LeBron James left Cleveland the first time and headed down to South Beach. That year, the Miami Heat were barely above 500 at 52, 49, and 2 against the spread. They could be overvalued this year, much like the Miami Heat were the 5 or 6 seasons ago. Durant is going to make this team next to unbeatable and easily the title favorites, but could take a while early on for this team to gel. Would not surprise me to see them actually fall right around average here against the spread next season after going 117, 99, and 3 over the last 2 years. Now, the Chicago Bulls, next up, almost always an overvalued team. They were last year at 36 and 46 against the spread. They got rid of Derrick Rose, but they brought in Rajon Rondo and Dwayne Wade. And I think a lot of people think that that's going to make them better than they were last year. I don't think it's going to make them any better. In fact, it could make them worse depending on what happens with Dwayne Wade's game schedule and how many games he's set to play. They got rid of one ball stopper and brought in 2 more. They said they were trying to make it Jimmy Butler's team, but now I don't know what's going on in Chicago right now, and that could lead to some dysfunction as well. They're going to be horrific on defense once again, even with Rondo and Wade, who are well past their prime as being good defenders, Butler being really the only solid defender left on that team. Now, Bulls have been atrocious against the spread since 2012, so it really should come at no surprise that they'll be overvalued next season. They are 165, 190, and 2 against the spread since 2012, third worst mark in that span among all NBA teams. Now, New York Knicks, I think, are up next. They were actually above 500 against the spread last year, 44 and 38 against the spread. But we talked about that in this same article a year ago. I talked about how the Knicks could be undervalued, and this year I can think they could be reversing course and once again being a little bit overvalued after, of course, bringing in Derrick Rose. They brought in Joakim Noah, brought in Courtney Lee. Pair with Kristaps Porzingis and, of course, Carmelo Anthony. It's going to be a very good team in the Eastern Conference, maybe even third or fourth best once the playoff times roll around. But since 2013, the Knicks are still well under 500, despite being above 500 against the spread last year, 115, 128, and 3. They also have some really interesting discrepancies between their future odds between books. They're 28 to 1 at some and 50 to 1 at others. That is the biggest discrepancy of any team in the NBA future odds this offseason. That could indicate that I think they could lean towards the more plus 5,000 team than the plus 2,800 team next season. That'll do it for me this time. Make sure you check out some of our other NFL and NBA offseason coverage. But until then, for Sportsbook Review, I'm Jordan Sharp.
Always on the go? Bet365 has one of the top mobile platforms in today's market. Sign up today and don't let your busy life keep you out of the game.